The merchant's discipline, the invisible kingdom that rules every empire. There's a question that has followed men since the first market was built and the first coin exchanged hands. It is a question that kings, merchants, craftsmen, and rulers have all faced, though few have ever answered it honestly. Why do some men continue building greater kingdoms while others lose everything they once possessed? Most believe the answer is intelligence. Others blame luck, timing, the economy, or opportunity. Yet after watching generations of men rise and fall, I discovered something far more unsettling. A man does not lose his kingdom when his business begins to fail. He loses it much earlier when he first loses command of himself. Every empire is built twice. The first construction happens where no one can see it. It is built inside the mind of its ruler. Only later does it appear as buildings, employees, customers, wealth, and influence. Men admire what stands before their eyes, yet wisdom has always concerned itself with what exists beneath the surface. A palace is admired because of its beauty, but it survives because of foundations that no visitor will ever praise. The same is true of every business. The numbers on your balance sheet are only the visible evidence of invisible decisions repeated day after day. When I governed Israel, people traveled from distant kingdoms to witness the prosperity of my nation. They admired the temple, the treasures, the courts, and the armies. Few understood that none of those things were my greatest achievement. They were merely the harvest. The true work had taken place long before anyone crossed my borders. It happened in the quiet moments when difficult decisions demanded discipline instead of comfort, patience instead of pride, and wisdom instead of impulse. Kingdoms are not destroyed by one disastrous decision. They are weakened by thousands of small compromises that seem harmless until they begin to shape the character of the man making them. Many merchants spend years studying negotiation, marketing, finance, and strategy, yet they remain strangers to the person who makes every one of those decisions. They know their competitors better than they know themselves. They can identify market opportunities while remaining blind to the habits quietly stealing their own potential. Every morning they promise to become more disciplined, more organized, more focused, yet every evening they wonder why nothing truly changes. They seek better systems while carrying the same mind that created yesterday's disorder. This is because discipline is widely misunderstood. Many imagine it as suffering, as endless effort, as forcing oneself through unpleasant work. They see discipline as chains placed upon freedom. They could not be more mistaken. Discipline is the very thing that creates freedom. The undisciplined man serves every passing emotion. If he feels motivated, he works. If he feels discouraged, he delays. If he feels afraid, he hesitates. If he feels confident, he becomes careless. His emotions become his rulers, and his future becomes unpredictable because it changes with every passing mood. Wisdom teaches another path. A wise ruler does not ask his emotions for permission before doing what is necessary. He has already decided who governs his kingdom. Emotions may advise him, but they never receive the throne. Imagine a captain sailing across the sea. The wind changes constantly. Some days it drives the ship forward. Other days it pushes against every mile of progress. A foolish captain wastes his strength arguing with the wind. A wise captain adjusts his sails. He cannot command the weather, but he refuses to become its servant. The same is true in business. Markets rise and fall. Clients appear and disappear. Opportunities emerge without warning. Yet none of these things determine the destiny of the disciplined merchant. His greatest advantage is not favorable conditions. It is consistent judgment. You may believe your greatest obstacle is competition. Perhaps you blame technology, inflation, difficult customers, or changing markets. But I tell you this, your greatest competitor has never existed outside your own mind. Every excuse that delays action, every fear that postpones necessary conversations, every distraction that steals your attention weakens your kingdom long before it weakens your company. The battle is rarely fought in the marketplace first. It is fought in private, where no one applauds your victories and no one notices your defeats. Observe two business owners who possess identical knowledge, identical resources, and identical opportunities. One keeps his promises to himself. He finishes what he begins. He faces uncomfortable conversations before they become expensive problems. He makes decisions based on principles rather than moods. The other delays, rationalizes, and waits until circumstances force him to act. From a distance, they appear equal. 5 years later, they seem to have lived completely different lives. People call one fortunate and the other unlucky. Wisdom calls one disciplined and the other distracted. There is another deception that traps ambitious men. They believe success will transform them. They tell themselves that once they reach a certain income, hire enough people, or build a larger company, they will finally become organized, focused, and confident. They have mistaken the order of cause and effect. Success does not create discipline. Discipline creates success. Wealth does not improve character. It magnifies it. Money simply gives your habits more room to grow. If your thinking is chaotic before prosperity arrives, prosperity will only make the chaos more expensive. This is why I've always valued character above talent. Talent may open doors, but only character determines what survives after those doors have opened. I have seen gifted men destroy extraordinary opportunities because they lack the discipline to govern themselves. I have also seen ordinary men build remarkable legacies simply because they mastered the small decisions repeated every day. Greatness rarely arrives with dramatic announcements. More often, it grows quietly through invisible consistency. Ask yourself a question that few entrepreneurs ever dare to answer honestly. If someone inherited your business today, carrying your knowledge but possessing greater discipline, would they build something far larger than what exists now? If the answer troubles you, do not turn away from it. That discomfort is not your enemy. It is wisdom inviting you to strengthen the foundation before adding another floor to the building. Remember this, above all else, your business is never managed from your office. It is managed from your mind. Every decision, every opportunity, every conversation passes first through the invisible kingdom within you. If that kingdom is ruled by fear, fear will eventually appear in your business. If it is ruled by pride, pride will become your advisor. But when wisdom sits upon the throne, even adversity becomes a servant working for your future. Many men dream of building empires. Few realize that every empire begins with the quiet discipline of governing a single heart. Master that kingdom first, and every business you build afterward will stand upon a foundation that no storm can easily destroy. For the strongest walls are never the ones that surround a city. They are the ones that protect the mind of the king.